What up? It's Seaneleous coming to you from the Basement Arcade. Thank you for watching this video, everyone. So I'm just going to get right into it. Golden Axe was officially announced today. Huge shout outs to the Garage Gamer and Brick Rod for talking about the new Golden Axe release. When I logged onto Instagram today, that was the first thing I saw. A lot of posts about Golden Axe. The Garage Gamer had the first screenshot that I saw. It's going to be available in mid-October, direct from Arcade 1UP, so it doesn't look like, as of right now, they're going to have any retail partners within the United States selling Golden Axe, and it looks like the Brick in Canada is going to have it available. So, wanted to share that news with you guys because that is the last cabinet I am planning on purchasing for the Basement Arcade, at least through the end of next year. Unless they surprise me with something crazy like NFL Blitz or The Simpsons, that may completely change my mind. In that case, I will have to make some room or tear the wall down to make that happen. You know, the funny thing about collecting these Arcade 1UP cabinets or just arcade cabinets in general is that when you begin collecting, you have every intention of just getting a few games, but it turns into an addiction where you get more and more and more, and then soon the whole room just turns into an arcade, and that's what happened here. So I really started with the intent of only having 4 arcade cabinets in this space. Now I have 6, and with Golden Axe that'll be 7, and I'm already looking around the basement thinking, oh, what can I move to make more room so I can get even more arcade cabinets in the future. But realistically, Golden Axe will be the final one, and I'm really excited to get my hands on that one when it is released in October. Hopefully it will be shipped out in October because, you know, it could be delayed for whatever reason. I am very hopeful, fingers crossed, that by Halloween be playing some Golden Axe, some Altered Beast. Some people were talking about the fact, is Golden Axe going to be a good buy? And I say it's going to be a fantastic buy, and I think it's the most bang for the buck out of any of the cabinets that are out right now, for the reason that it has 5 games that have a lot of replay value, because they're campaign-style games. All the games on the cabinet, with the exception of, I think, Wrestle War, are all action, side-scrolling beat-em-up games. A little bit of platform action in there. I know Altered Beast is like a side-scrolling beat-em-up platform game, which all those games are similar to Turtles, which is a beat-em-up game. So you have 5 games with unique characters, unique levels, really dynamic environments, and really in-depth gameplay with a lot of variety and replay value. You know, I could see myself playing Golden Axe for a long period of time, you know, standing behind the cabinet and actually playing through the levels and progressing through the game like it's an actual game. Out of the games I have right now, you know, NBA Jam is a great game for replay value. That is only really a lot of fun when you're playing with other people, which is why I'm glad they have the online component. Marvel Superheroes fighting game, so really I find it to be only really fun when you're fighting against other people. It has the Punisher beat-em-up game, which has a lot of replay value. That's why I end up playing the Punisher more than anything on the Marvel Superheroes. Mortal Kombat, don't really play that a lot. I love Mortal Kombat, but I would need to play against other people because, man, that's a really hard game. Haven't quite mastered it yet. And it doesn't get a lot of play out of the cabinets I have currently. It'd be a lot more fun if I had more people playing. Pac-Man gets a lot of play because of the variety of games. It has Pac-Land on it, and I was playing Pac-Mania right before I shot this video. And of course Galaga, because I'm all about scoring. See, Galaga, Pac-Man, those are all great games for scoring. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is an amazing side-scrolling beat-em-up game, so I don't play that quite as much as I used to because that was the first game I got and I was playing that a ton last year. But Golden Axe is going to essentially fill that void because it's the same kind of game. You know, there's a lot of dynamic levels, progression within the gameplay, so I'm really excited to get Golden Axe. So I have those type of games added to the arcade, especially for the holidays. So the Final Fight cabinet was the one other cabinet I was really debating getting, and that's because that has Final Fight and has a lot of other games, Ghosts and Goblins, was it Strider and was it 1944, 1942? One of the shooting games, the shoot 'em ups, the shmup style games of the 40s. I think it was 1942 or 4. Anyway, I'm on the cusp. None of this is rehearsed. This is all just on the fly. There's, you know, whatever I think of, I record. So, Golden Axe definitely going to be a great addition to the Basement Arcade. For those of you who aren't too familiar with Golden Axe as a game, neither was I. I did not play Golden Axe in the arcades ever when I was growing up. And once I started hearing buzz around Golden Axe, it was around last year at this time, I made a point to go to an arcade and try it out for myself. And that's when I really started to fall in love with the game. And not only Golden Axe, but Altered Beast and Shinobi, all of those Sega games that were those side-scrolling beat-em-up Sega games from the late 80s, early 90s, I really got into when I actually got into an arcade and started playing them. So, shout out to Galloping Ghost Arcade. That's a fantastic arcade, largest arcade in the world. So I was going to Galloping Ghost, and Galloping Ghost has a Sega aisle of all Sega cabinets that were beat-em-up side-scrolling games from the 80s and 90s. So within that row, they had Golden Axe, Revenge of Death Adder, Altered Beast, Shinobi. They had a couple of Shinobis. And so they were all right next to each other, all playable on original arcade hardware. So when I go into Galloping Ghost, I would spend a lot of time in the Sega aisle playing those games, just thinking about the Golden Axe release for Arcade 1-Up. So if it wasn't for me going in there, getting a chance to really play those games on arcade hardware, I wouldn't have been as excited about this Golden Axe release as I am right now. Because like I said, I never played Golden Axe in the arcades when it was first released, and now I'm really pumped because I started actually playing it in the arcades. So for me, it's not about getting one arcade cabinet with thousands of games on it. So I prefer to have a bunch of different cabinets with the original artwork on them, with the marquees and everything. That's why I never really got too much I never got into modding. I'm gonna look into that once I get Golden Axe to start really tricking these out maybe a little bit more to make them look more like the original arcade cabinets. Maybe change the kick plates out, stuff like that. Maybe put in some of those fake coin doors I've seen. Those look pretty cool. But for me, it's always been about having multiple cabinets, having an arcade rather than just one arcade cabinet that has thousands of games on it, because I wouldn't play all the games. You get analysis paralysis when you see the menu and there's so many games, you know what to pick. So for me, it's all about multiple cabs, which is why I'm getting the Golden Axe. And I highly suggest anybody out there who's thinking about Golden Axe that doesn't have much experience playing the game. It's not the same to just download a ROM of the game and play it on your computer. You know, if you have like a multi-cade arcade cabinet that has, you know, ROM dumps, you can just play it on there. That would be a good way to go. But I think the best way to go is to find a local arcade and play it there on the original hardware. That's what I did at Galloping Ghost. You can actually, I would highly recommend you go to Galloping Ghost. They are open now, even despite the pandemic, and just find a time to go when it's not, you know, when there's really nobody there, and you can test out the games and see which games you like. And that way, when Arcade 1-Up has releases coming out that you don't know about, you can actually have had experience playing those games on the original arcade hardware in an arcade, because there are a lot of arcades out there around the country, around the world, that have these games available to play. And a lot of them are open right now, and a lot of them need the business, because a lot of people aren't going to these arcades because of the pandemic. So definitely go about doing it that way. That's how I did it with Golden Axe. That's why I'm getting Golden Axe for the Basement Arcade. And very excited for this October release. Again, special shout outs to Arcade 1-Up for putting it out today. I think Arcade 1-Up is a great company. You know, everybody that I've talked to within the company has been really, really nice. Scott Bacharach's such a nice guy, and they're really working very hard to put out these products despite everything that's going on with the pandemic and just all of the issues with shipping logistics. And it's tough. It's a tough time to be putting out stuff like this. So huge shout outs to them. And they're putting out great products. And they got the patch for the Super Pac-Man I saw. P-Dubs had a great video about that, about how Super Pac-Man had The Galaga fire button was on the left side rather than the right side. They got right on it, so there was going to be a patch for that. And you know, it's definitely not easy to manufacture and create this stuff. So huge shout outs to Arcade 1Up for keeping it going despite everything going on in the world and all the craziness in 2020. So thank you for watching this video, everyone. Special shout outs to the Garage Gamer for posting the screenshot and Brick Rod for making a great video. Thank you, appreciate all of your support. I love hearing your comments and chatting with all of you. Thanks for watching this video, and as always, welcome to the Basement Arcade.